For decades, the global technology supply chain rested almost entirely on a single geographical hub. And now, the center of gravity for consumer hardware assembly is moving away from traditional factories in China. This map illustrates a rapid shift in iPhone production, with most US devices now assembled in India. But the pandemic, escalating tariffs, and geopolitical tensions exposed vulnerabilities in concentrated supply chains, making the old model financially and practically unsustainable. Apple's leadership made a calculated decision to aggressively seek alternatives and distribute their manufacturing base across new territories. The Indian government countered with aggressive policies, utilizing the Make in India initiative to offer lucrative tax incentives designed to attract large-scale, high-tech manufacturing. Apple needed an alternative to secure its supply lines, and India possessed both the workforce and the economic ambition to absorb the enormous capacity. On the surface, the numbers point to a massive industrial victory. In the 2025-2026 financial year, India achieved $21.5 billion in iPhone exports. Yet, hitting that export milestone required a massive import bill for parts and components, totaling $22.3 billion. This chart compares those two figures directly. Against $21.5 billion in outbound finished products, the inbound cost of $22.3 billion reveals that India is actually running a trade deficit on iPhone production. That massive import bill exists because the highly engineered physical components required to build these devices still arrive from overseas, simply waiting to be snapped together upon arrival. Assembling a product generates a fraction of the economic return compared to manufacturing the underlying technology from scratch. The true metric of manufacturing wealth is domestic value addition, or DVA. This measures the exact percentage of a product's monetary value that stays in the country where the final assembly takes place. This exploded diagram of a smartphone shows how that value is distributed. By domesticating the production of lower-tier parts, like USB cables, mechanical chassis, and battery packs, India has grown its DVA from 5% to roughly 19% today. The remaining 81% of the device's value is locked in highly complex, expensive components: the display panels, the memory chips, and the advanced camera modules. Despite aggressive efforts to decouple from traditional supply lines, these high-value components must still be imported, largely from China. While India captures roughly 19% of the iPhone's value, China retains approximately 40% on the devices it assembles, exposing a significant capability gap in deep electronics manufacturing. Industrial power relies on the ownership of the highest margin microscopic technologies inside consumer goods, rather than the sheer volume of products shipped out of ports. Producing an iPhone requires a dense, highly localized manufacturing ecosystem. It relies on a network of over 40 different specialized suppliers, operating in close proximity, rather than a single isolated assembly plant. Recognizing the threat of a migrating supply chain, China has begun delaying and blocking the export of critical manufacturing equipment destined for Indian factories. These supply chain bottlenecks coincide with broader geopolitical friction and ongoing border tensions between the two nations, providing India with an urgent incentive to achieve industrial independence. Mimicking foreign assembly lines is no longer the primary objective. The industrial focus has moved toward building the foundational component base. By controlling the deep, intricate networks required for modern electronics, established industrial powers can keep emerging economies locked in the high-labor, low-margin phase of development. To break this cycle, the Indian government introduced a 62,500 crore rupee incentive scheme that explicitly rewards the domestic sourcing of specified components, paying companies to develop internal supply chains. Tata Electronics has stepped in as the domestic champion, tasked with reducing foreign reliance, mounting a direct challenge to established assembly giants like Foxconn. This graph charts their recent growth. Over the last production-linked incentive period, Tata overtook Foxconn in iPhone export value, hitting $26.3 billion compared to the Taiwanese manufacturer's $25.6 billion. Tata managed this rapid acceleration primarily by acquiring Wistron's existing operations in 2023, rather than building the capacity entirely through organic growth. Corporate leadership understands that buying existing assembly plants is a temporary measure. Long-term survival requires solving the root deficit in component manufacturing. Dislodging an incumbent manufacturing giant requires controlling the underlying technology and intellectual property, rather than just taking over the factory floor. Tata's ultimate escalation is a massive $14 billion, or 1.18 trillion rupee, investment to build domestic semiconductor fabrication and testing facilities. Semiconductor fabrication stands as the most difficult, capital-intensive hurdle in the entire global technology supply chain, requiring precision infrastructure that takes years to refine. Apple is adapting to this shift by engaging directly with over 40 domestic Indian companies, working to slowly migrate the critical component network away from Chinese suppliers. If this transition of the deep supply chain succeeds, Apple expects its Indian iPhone production to reach a foreign exchange neutral state, where exports finally match imports by the 2027 financial year. India has won the initial race to assemble the world's devices, but the long-term industrial outcome ultimately depends on who controls the microscopic supply chains hidden beneath the glass.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to World Economy for more insightful content.